explain, tell something, some trends happening in basically maize and soybean. So these are the two major, feed ingredients if we see. Am I audible enough, or should I have to speak a little bit louder?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine, sir. Perfectly fine.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
To start with the maize, basically, so these are the bullish and bearish factor which are acting as of now in case of maize. I'm starting with the global maize market deriving factors. So that's basically and lower production estimates in Argentina and Brazil. The robust global and China demand is actually really good. And geopolitical tension, that is Ukraine and Russia, everybody is intrigued about what is happening there, and Ukraine is a major exporter of maize as well, so corn as well. Then La Nina is extending to June, July, August now. So it is a little bit, earlier it was expected that it may go by, by May, but now it is extending a little bit. So that is also creating an issue for the second crop of the Brazil. On the bearish side, we have only that higher global, the global ending stock is still, looking to be, a little bit on a higher side ending stock. It may and on a higher side. As of now, the Brazil planted area is, the plantation in Brazil is going at a very good pace for the second corn crop, and that may act a little bit towards the bearish side. So going further, that is, if we see that the global ending stock is basically easing, and it is going toward 34.5 million ton from 28.1 million ton earlier. We will see about Argentina, Brazil, and especially US. All three are actually ending with higher stock. Global ending stock is going toward 289.4 million metric ton. So going further, this is what we were discussing about La Nina. So La Nina is basically actually during it was looking like that it may go towards neutral phase by May, and it should actually be easier, easing the weather condition in Southern America. But actually, if we see the forecasts and that if we see this particular this green and these blue lines, so these are the dynamic and average mean of the models. So this shows that it is after this June, July, August, so there is again coming back towards La Nina conditions. That is which earlier earlier the view was that by May, June, July it is going to be easy, but it looks like it will go towards La Nina again. So that's a red flag for the South American rainfall and crops here. So the global, now I'm just summarizing the global scenario. That is the Ukrainian ports we know that it has been closed by on February 24, and still the war is still lingering, and it is going. People were not expecting that it should go such a long period, but it is still lingering. About a good amount of export is being done from Ukraine for maize, and it may actually impact the maize export from the corn export from Ukraine, which we all know that. So that is we are expecting that about 15 million metric ton of corn supply shortage will be there in the global market, which has to be covered from other regions. Okay, stocks will be there, stocks will be locked there, but it may not be available for the global market. So Chinese corn demand is still remaining strong. That is against 5 year of for last 5 years, their average comes to around 9.5 million metric ton. Although 2020-21 was on a higher side, and that higher demand is still continuing. So as of now, it is being expected that about 26 million metric ton of corn being imported by the China in current year as well. So this shows that demand pull will remain there. So it is estimated about due to this, already Argentina has just 1 day ago has reduced their corn production estimate to 49 million metric ton from around 52 million metric ton, about 53 million metric ton. So they have actually reduced their production estimate for corn because of the dryness, because of the dry weather conditions, and eventually it may impact if the La Nina effect will remain there in in Brazil, and will come in Brazil. So it may actually impact the Brazilian production estimates for the second corn crop. So globally, on our production side, the hit will be there. Now, if we talk about the Ukraine alone contributes about 13 to 15% of world corn exports. The top corn importers from Ukraine are, if we see where it can go, China, Korea, Netherlands, Spain, Egypt, and others. So China, Netherlands, Korea contributes about 60% of imports from Ukraine. And China and Korea are also accessible from India as well, from on C&F basis, considering the freight rate differences. And so on that basis, India will also become competitive, has also become competitive for exporting to those. So coming down, if we see the world supply and demand, it's the same scenario. It is showing the world supply and demand. The ending stocks are on higher side for 2021-22. Ukraine Russia crisis, what is there for India? So in India there will be a demand shift. There is a potential of demand shift to India. So if corn we see the export from Black Sea region, that is Russia, about 4 million metric ton of corn is being exported on an average basis every year, and Ukraine about 28 million metric ton. So Ukraine being such a big participation of this export, it is definitely going to be impacted, and this has to be taken care from other countries. Demand diversion is possible from Ukraine to India and Brazil and Argentina. So if we see India S&D, which we are going to discuss further in Indian scenario, so about 2 to 3 million metric ton of potential demand can be covered by come from the India. After that, the prices will be out of parity in that case. So that's it about the global scenario. Now I'm coming to the domestic corn fundamentals and outlook. Here also we'll start with the same structure, that is what are the bullish factors. It's basically, as of now, even the demand is very good. Almost export demand is there. Arrival season, this is a lean arrival season, and expectation, the ending stock in our S&D is showing the lower stocks. The stock and the feed people have also not booked for the demand actually. So they are buying back to back. So that's also shows the demand pool will remain there. Then expectation of feed industry demand, Middle East demand is there, and considering the global scenario, the demand will remain there. And which is the most important factor is the late plantation in Bihar. So late and staggered plantation in Bihar. This time the maize has been on planting, has been done late, and it is also in staggered form. So the arrival will be also in fragmented form. It will not be peak arrival. We may not be able to see that, although the crop will keep on coming, but it will be delayed and at the same time fragmented. So that will definitely impact the people who were depending upon the Bihar production and all that. So the delay will impact that demand. Pull will be there. So demand on bearish factor, definitely the higher prices will definitely impact the demand, and demand of poultry meat at higher prices will be there. So that is what we think about the bearish factor. Now, if we see all India crop condition as of now, this is the all India minimum temperature. It's almost normal. Soil moisture, it is actually better than last year and normal. You see, maize sowing progress definitely is much better than last year. All India maize crop condition is 90% of crop is under normal condition, while only about 10% is a little bit about watch condition due to this now dry weather and heat wave and all. Actually, if it will this heat wave will if it will continue like that, it may have some negative impact on a bigger crop. So that we need to monitor, and we need to see how actually things pan out. Maize production estimate, if we just see, as I have already told, that about 19.3 lakh hectare has been planted, which is about 1.8 lakh hectare higher than last year. Looking at the higher sowing acreages and till now the conducive environment, the production seems to be 83 to 98 lakh. This is the range we are expecting. Rest we have to see that how actually now the weather will turn out like this. The heat, this heat is going on. The temperatures are maximum temperature is higher than the normal, so that may impact the yields. We need to see how it actually pans out. Arrival. This is the arrival trend, which is so showing that for the current year arrival is basically lower than the last 5-year average. So this already shows that the situation is as of now that it's tight. It's on the tighter side. Now this is the boiler prices, which I've discussed about the demand rationing. If you see the broiler prices are surging, and even during this March, although this weather conditions are going towards a little bit seasonality of lower consumption and all that, but still if you see the prices are actually increasing, so definitely that may impact the meat demand, the demand for broiler meat demand rationalization may actually happen, and it may actually bearish for the feed requirement for corn basis. Now this is the maize consumption pie chart, which actually shows 2020-21 versus 2022 scenario. So if we see almost demand is increasing on every side. So the feed industry demand is increasing, starch industry demand is increasing, exports are the major puller this year, and distillery demand, that ethanol, fuel ethanol demand, that has also become a major factor now, so it is also increasing. Overall, things are on demand side are also on the bullish side, if I would say. Maize, this chart shows the maize export scenario. So till January 22, so the export is 4% higher than the same period last year. So these are the region-wise broiler margin, which is we do see some demand and increase in export demand also, considering Russia-Ukraine tension. So that is just to see, just to show how the demand is actually panning out. So this is the C&F comparison for our for the corn export from India. If we see versus USA, Brazil, Argentina, and India. So as of now, we are for Thailand, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Maldives, UAE, and Indonesia. As I've already told that we are quite at this moment we are very much in parity, and this is quite competitive. So that's why our export demand is also higher, and it may remain for next few months. The demand pull from the export will remain there. This is the balance sheet which I was discussing about. If you see the opening stock this year were lower than last year, and the production was slightly lower. But if you see the final ending stock will be actually quite on lower side. So that is actually keeping the things very tight. And now this is the outlook, which we think the overall Kharif stock is almost over, which is being shown from the arrival, and as I've already told that this time still it has not been people have not stocked up, and it is only back-to-back situation. So the stock situation is actually tight. So the prices should remain supported or slightly on the bullish side, I'd say. Robust export demand, we have already discussed, it will be there, and it will also so very actually supportive prices. So lower than ending stock. So these are the basic reasons behind the price support in corn. So just I want to show you that. So if you say, are you able to see my screen? So this is the outlook, which is being, which is visible from the technical side. That is how the charts are actually showing where the prices are going, or it can actually move. So we are seeing prices to move upward till, let's say, let's say April, May, and after that, when the Bihar crop will start coming, there will be some there will be a slight decline in the prices. But after that, we considering the ending stock, which we have already told, and the export demand, we see the prices going north actually towards north. So although these are technical things, but it is showing in the similar direction as being shown in the fundamental outlook. Okay, so coming to the soybean fundamental and price outlook. So in this case, if we discuss about the global soybean market driving factors, so the bullish factors are the again the La Nina, it is definitely there. So Brazilian crop and Argentinian crop, we do see there is a fear of impact on those crops. Then lower production estimate in Argentina and Brazil, obviously it's a similar situation. Then strong global demand, the China demand is actually strong, that is going on, and same geopolitical factors. Although soybean is not, and if we see Ukraine, Ukraine is not so important from soybean perspective. But if we see from the sunflower oil and sunflower seed perspective, it is actually important. So it will again that oil demand will have to be covered from the other, substituted from the other regions and other oils. So it will definitely pull the oil demand from on that side. And obviously sunflower cake will also be, has to be taken care from the meal has to be taken care from the other meals in other origins. So bearish factors are US government is actually now studying changing biodiesel mandate. So there is a big demand for last few days after this Russia-Ukraine tension. So US government is there is a pressure on the government to reduce the food inflation or the food prices basically. So they are considering reducing the changing the biodiesel mandate so that those crops should be available at a cheaper rate. So although it's a it's a dilemma situation for US political people, but it's still going on. So it's a negative sentiment from sentimental point of view, and if it happens, definitely it will have impact on the prices. Then the demand rationalization amid its high prices, definitely there, we know that. Okay. So this is again the La Nina. So if we see La Nina impact on South American crop, actually soybean, we have just made a chart showing whenever La Nina condition is there, strong La Nina condition is above 0.5, we see a dip in their basically yields basically. So again, now it is going toward that direction. So the yield dip can be there. We can see. So that is what we actually want to show from this scenario. So overall, this is the world soybean production. So if we see about Argentina is they are at 41 million ton this year from 51 million ton because of La Nina. The dryness in Argentina was more than the Brazil, but still the Brazil has also gone down to 124 million metric ton from 144 million. It's a big decrease. And although on the other hand, the US has actually gained. So overall 352 million metric ton from 384 million metric ton last year. That is the world soybean production, which has actually happened. So on production side, there is a hit. And if this La Nina will go further, so this may have some impact on the further growth of the crop. So oil meal, this is the oil meal ratio and soybean price, because normally it works during the off-season period. At that time, we used to see this. So if the oil prices also increases in comparison to the meal prices, then actually obviously the realization increases, the overall realization increases, and it actually impact the soybean demand. The soybean demand pull will be there, so it helps soybean prices as well. So as of now, it is going on. It is increasing, and because of the oil increase in oil price, not in the meal price, but in the oil price. There is, some taxes have been put up by the Argentinian government during, in current month. So that is also, although the market is not being impacted much, but slight impact has come on the soybean prices. So it is actually supportive of the soybean prices if we see this globally. Global soybean balance sheet is actually showing the ending stock on higher side. So although the production is on lower side, but still the consumption is lower, and at the same time exports are also lower. So overall ending stock is little on the higher side because of the higher prices. So domestic soybean scenario is basically it is the farmers are in India. We actually see the farmers are holding stocks. The production was higher, but the arrival has not come to that level. And actually, if the arrivals, the way we are expecting the production, if the arrivals would have come to that level, the prices would not have been to the current level, which and it would have been lower. But if we see actually, if we there is we do speak to farmers as well, and we are getting the field inputs is that the farmers are actually holding stocks. It's difficult to find out how much, but actually they are still asking for that. Should they come out or should they not? But it is the field which is coming from the ground. Soybean food segment demand, there is some improvement in that demand because of now opening of economy and every the offices and schools and all these things have opened up. So this is that demand is a little bit supported. Increasing dependency on soil due to geopolitical, we have already discussed this point. Higher edible oil prices, as obviously that will supportive the soybean price. Although the soy meal is having the major impact, but as I told you during off season, if the overall rationalization increases, definitely that will support the prices. The bearish factors, that is lower soybean crushing. That's the major factor because of the higher soybean prices. Our soy meal export is non-competitive in the world market. So that is basically that negative margin is not supporting the soybean crushing. So it's been been really remaining low. So that is at present prices that acts as a bearish factor, right? So lower soybean exports, obviously that is connected with the above point. And feed soybean demand would decrease in summer months due to that's the seasonality factor. So that will also have some negative effect on that. So now coming to the exports competitiveness of Indian soybeans. This is a historical chart which actually shows you whenever the Indian soy meal exports happen when there is a difference of around USD 100 per metric ton from the Argentinian meal. So whenever the premium of Indian soya meal comes around 100 or below 100 USD per metric ton, Indian exports become viable because of non-GMO soy meal export demand in Europe and some European countries and all that. So they are okay at that much, they are okay at paying that much price for the non-GMO soybean meal. So, but as of now, we are at around 270 to 280 USD per meal. That is the premium over the Argentinian soy meal export. So that is why our soy meal exports are not viable as of now. So this shows the situation of soy meal exports. If you see this orange line, this shows we are much below the 5-year average and as well as last year. After this, normally Argentinian meals comes into the market. So after April, so we do not see much increase in soya meal. This Ukraine and Russia tension may bring some marginal demand, some demand, because it has to be covered from somewhere else. Some demand can come up, but it will not be a very strong demand or very So going further, if we see the this is the supply and demand of Indian soybean consumption. Basically, starting from the consumption, we have shown that because the export of soya meal is lower. If we see the domestic soya meal demand has increased, but export of soya meal is lower. And at the same time, if we see the production, we have estimated a higher production of soybean this year. So considering both these factors are actually leading to the higher stock compared to last year till end March for the current year till April 21. Sorry, not ending but till April. So we see higher seed stock left. So basically, most of that stock, that's the feeling which we are getting from the market or from the field. Most of that stock is with the farmers actually. So the farmers are continuously waiting for the higher prices. As of now, also they are busy with the harvesting their current rabi crop. So that is also a factor when they will come up, when they will come in the market and sell their seed. So let's see. I'll discuss that further. This is the Indian soybean balance sheet. So if we see 2021-22 actually started with the really low stock, and that is the basis behind the higher prices, higher soybean prices from the very start, even till today. And that is why even the farmers actually last year they came early and they sold the crop at lower prices and saw the higher prices after that. So the psyche is that current year, they didn't want to sell it, and when from the starting the prices were higher, so they are selling it really slow and expecting for the higher prices. So either the prices should come down, something like that. They should get a feeling that now I should sell it, otherwise I'll be at loss. Otherwise, the psyche is that they would like to keep on asking until the new planting will come. They would like to roll over, keep the stock in that sense. Well, that has to be that is subjective, but that has to be seen how it happens. As of now, the arrivals are not showing that they are bringing the crop in a good manner. So this is a chart which is actually, if we see that we are seeing a slight increase in prices above this level as well, but that will be a slight bump only. Maybe because still the crop is not coming, and because of this current situation of higher edible oil prices and all that. So there will be sentiment, the demand of the oil prices may increase and the realization may become positive for the crushing, and that may actually support soybean prices a little bit, and we are seeing slight bump, slight increase in the level of the prices. But that may happen for for a small time or a small period. After that, the long time is we are seeing the prices should actually go down again, because the prices are good and the farmers will definitely have to come with their crop. Only the question is, which we are asking ourselves also on a regular basis, what if they do not come? The scenario may change in that sense. But at the end, we know that they have to come. We need to see. So basically, this is from my side, sir. Thanks a lot for listening to me.
Thank